Leaving the daily regimen and structured life of the military can be difficult for many veterans, even more so when it comes to finding gainful employment as a civilian. Hi, I'm your host, Montel Williams, and today on Military Makeover Operation Career, we have 4 inspirational stories about veterans who found new careers after transitioning from the military. Our first story highlights one employer that has won many top 50 military-friendly employer awards. This construction equipment rental company knows that building a strong foundation begins with hiring the right personnel, and that means military personnel.
My name is Jermaine Jamerson.
My name is Hugo Barraza.
I am Catherine Peters.
I signed up for the military. I really wanted to go out and serve my country.
I was a staff sergeant in the Air Force.
One of my friend's sisters was in the military. She was in the Air Force. And I just started talking to her, and at 13, that was it. That's what I wanted to do.
We like our vets. I'm Cheryl Black. I'm the Senior Vice President of Human Resources, and we think that our values align a lot with military values. That says a lot about Sunbelt.
A lot of my friends weren't able to find a job once they actually got out of the military. Sunbelt does a great thing in looking for veterans and giving them a place to work because it's not an easy road.
I do talk to a lot of vets, and that is one thing that people do struggle with when they first get out, what they're going to do.
Something near and dear to my heart is how do we integrate veterans back into a civilian workforce? I can sit here, it makes me want to cry just because I can think of some of the stories.
I'll be honest, my transition was a little wild. My sister's friend owned a bar, and so she said, "You're going to come and work for me," and I said, "Okay." And I realized it wasn't me. I was more disciplined than this. I just had to get my life back in order.
It was scary in the meantime because I didn't know exactly, hey, what am I going to do? I mean, the military was my life. It's who I am. Who am I going to be without them anymore? And like I said, with Sunbelt, I found my niche.
Hi, I'm Brad Lull with Sunbelt Rentals. I'm the Executive Vice President. When they speak about the culture of Sunbelt, it's very much genuine in the nature of the family atmosphere that we have here.
During my interviews when I came to Sunbelt, everybody asked me, the first question is, tell me about Jermaine and tell me about your family. Family means a whole lot. Being able to see my kids blossom and grow and learn from each other, I think is the biggest thing that I like to see, and I like to spend a lot of time with them.
My family is probably my turning point in my whole entire life. They made me want to be a better person, a better man, a better father. They bring out the best in me.
People and families are important. There is a sense of family. People care about each other. We have a lot of families that work in the business.
We have 3 daughters. When there's work to be done on the weekends, they come in and help file. My husband will come in and help. It's a family thing, so it's a team effort.
Catherine joined us about 5 years ago, and I remember actually meeting her in Green Bay, Wisconsin. She walked up very confident and stuck her hand out and shook hands and said, "Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm going to be your new manager, and I'm going to take over Green Bay for the company." And she did just that.
It is just such a neat company, and I think one of the greatest concepts that they had is the green equipment.
Hugo is a service manager for Sunbelt Rentals in the Central Texas market, and he's somebody that has a wealth of experience and knowledge, very focused on the mission at hand.
And that's where you want to be as an military veteran. And I think I just got lucky when I got chosen by Sunbelt.
So met Jermaine a couple of years ago at a annual meeting for Sunbelt, and I think the one thing that you'll find about Jermaine is just his infectious optimism and his smile and his genuine gratitude for the people around him.
Sunbelt does a great job trying to recruit. I think they do a good job of having that being my brother's keeper attitude.
My goal is to take that step next with Sunbelt and see what we can do to make it easier for veterans to integrate. Our veterans that are on the inside see that we do have their back and that we do want to extend that olive branch and really reach out to them and say, how can we help you? To be able to serve someone that served us, to me, is where I'd like to be.
Our next story centers on a veteran-owned company in Phoenix that provides security officers and vehicle patrol services to their clients. And who better to provide protection than the proud men and women who have served in the United States military?
Silbar Security of Phoenix is veteran-owned and operated, specializing in on-site security officers and roving vehicle patrol services. They are proud to offer law enforcement-grade products, services, and technology to their clients.
Silbar Security is more than just your average security company, more than just, being a mall cop. We have law enforcement-grade technology, the vehicles, the body-worn cameras, our reporting software. It's, as the tagline says, professional security wasn't available, so we fixed it.
Founded by law enforcement professionals, Silbar Security was developed from the ground up by a Norfolk, Virginia police canine officer who saw a desperate need for a change in the security industry.
It all began when I was a police officer in Norfolk, Virginia, for Norfolk Police Department. Police officers occasionally work with security companies and security guards, responding to many calls to assist them. And especially in my market, security guards were definitely unprofessional, undertrained. To put it mildly, they were subpar at best. And that was one thing that kind of bothered me, is working with someone, who's a first responder like us in many cases. I wanted to change that typical security guard stereotype.
Veteran Jason Sivankara is a former Air Force sergeant, and he's now the president of the Silbar Security franchise in Phoenix, Arizona.
After I left the police department, I started looking at different franchise ideas or businesses. I wanted to kind of get into security because it was something I was familiar with. I looked at some other franchises, and the reason why I went with Silbar is because they were founded by law enforcement. They had the nicest vehicles. The image is what I liked.
Silbar Security began franchising in 2016, with most franchisees being former police and veterans. They recognize the enormous talent and dedication that veterans bring to their team, which is why they've been so passionate in recruiting and hiring these remarkable candidates.
The importance of Jason's background to Silbar Security is two things. He's a former police officer, so he already has the law enforcement background, the law enforcement aspects, and how it meshes well with the security industry. And then, of course, his military background, being in the Air Force, has a lot of core values. His morals, his ethics, everything together meshes very well.
8 years of active duty. After that, I separated. I got honorable discharge, and I got hired on with the Phoenix Police Department. And one of the positions we recently filled, it was Director of Plant Retention, and we actually filled that spot with a veteran that is it's an Army veteran that has PTSD from serving in Afghanistan. As a service dog, but very professional. And I knew when he first walked in the door, I knew he was a military guy. And just by the way he talked and just by the way that he presented himself.
Being founded by law enforcement. That's not just their tagline, it's who they are. And they take security seriously. Their goal is to revolutionize the security industry by providing enhanced training, equipping themselves with advanced technologies, including police-grade body-worn video cameras, using law enforcement-based technology and procedures, as well as the use of police-grade vehicles. Silbar Security is building a world-class brand. They're bringing together the experience of law enforcement professionals and military veterans. They apply their ethical values and morals to prove world-class service and these factors that make Silbar Security who they are.
The leadership within Silbar Security as a whole. It's founded by Brandon, who's prior law enforcement as well. They have the knowledge and the professionalism that I was looking for.
This next company is not only veteran-owned, it's also military spouse-operated. This husband and wife team that runs an e-learning organization have made it their mission to provide long-term remote career opportunities for the spouses of active duty military personnel.
We're in Castleberry, Florida, visiting the headquarters of Freedom Learning Group, an industry leader in providing full-service e-learning and educational content.
Freedom Learning Group was founded with the mission to take military spouses who have high levels of expertise in their professional fields and hire them as curriculum developers so that they can apply their professional experience to the education industry.
Founded by Nathan and Stacy Eckelbarger, Freedom Learning is proud to be a veteran-owned and military spouse-operated company.
We're not a staffing agency. We're not an organization that's created a military spouse hiring initiative. We've created an organization of military spouses.
A U.S. Marine Corps reservist, Nathan was called out to active duty orders in Germany, where the family soon realized that they were missing something important.
It was amazing living overseas. We got to travel to various countries, but there was definitely an element missing, and that was my professional identity. I found out that I wasn't alone. There are several different military spouses that were in the same boat, and they were looking for ways to justify their career sacrifice.
I think it was one of the days my husband went to work for the first time where he had moved to a brand new location. I didn't know anybody and I didn't have a support system to start with, and I was home and alone, and it just was a very big change for me with a very young child as well.
Lindsay Sorensen has a master's degree in inorganic chemistry. She gave up her career to start a family with her military husband.
My real passion was science, and so I really was trying to seek out at every single possibility that I could. But I found times where an employer may treat me differently because they knew I was going to move right away. And so I had some challenges as we moved around to keep within my career field.
If you follow your service member around, often military spouses, they're kind of in the shadows of their spouse while they're excelling forward. So for me, it's just about the escape and just investing in myself, and I think that's important for anyone to do.
So no matter where you are, no matter where you're stationed, FLG allows to do the job that you trained for and that you are passionate about.
A military spouse and mother of 2 daughters, working remotely is especially important for Amy Taft.
My husband's actually wounded, and so I am able to keep an eye on his safety during the day and still have a really fulfilling career as well.
Today, Freedom Learning is the #1 solution to underemployment among military spouses across every discipline.
It's a high-level opportunity that's paying chemists to be chemists. They're paying attorneys to still be attorneys.
FLG has made a big difference in my life, and it made me a better mom, and it made me a better spouse to be able to also work as well.
Whenever you're happy about what you're doing and you feel good about yourself, then you're able to give things to other people in your family.
In addition to being a successful e-learning company, FLG proudly supports several nonprofit organizations around the globe.
It's not just a job, it's not just a career. If you want to be part of some of the nonprofit work or some of the larger goals of the company, then you can absolutely join in.
Maybe you are an expert in an area that a nonprofit needs some help in, and you're able to volunteer your time and resources, again, in something that you're passionate about without even leaving your work site.
Community Resource Network is a nonprofit organization that works towards preventing family homelessness in Central Florida.
80% of the homeless in Central Florida are families. And they don't qualify for support. The great thing about the Freedom Learning Group is that these military wives are devising curriculums that will eventually help homeless moms and dads qualify for higher paying jobs. And as they qualify, they will be better able to afford housing for their families.
FLG is passionate about making a difference. They proudly empower military spouses with enduring portable careers that can follow them as they follow their military service members.
I really see FLG is going to revolutionize the way that we look at spouse employment.
The part that I look forward to is when a military spouse chokes up on the other line because they realize that this is for real and that they can actually work virtually from anywhere in the world, and they won't have to give up their career every time they move with their service member, and they can continue to support them while working towards their professional dream.
For more information, visit freedomlearninggroup.com or militarymakeover.tv.
Our last story highlights the efforts of one trucking company's commitment to provide on-the-job training to deserving veterans through its Prime Student Driver program. Take a look.
My name is Gates, and this is my wife, Lenora. We met in Djibouti, Africa, on a military deployment for the Marine Corps. When you're on deployment, it's unwise to try to choose a spouse. We decided to make it official right before she went to Iraq.
That's when it was kind of a rough time, just transitioning back.
Got to feel what that was like to be the spouse that stays home. When you get out of the Marine Corps, or out of any branch of the service, you tend to start to feel a little bit lost in the sauce, as military people put it. When you're in, you have everybody's telling you what to do and where to go, and this is the mission, and you're just so sure about your place and your job and your purpose in the world. What the military builds you up with is this undeniable confidence in who you are and what you can complete and accomplish. And when you get back, you get into some dark, depressive places. It's like you don't have a purpose or a mission for your life anymore. And I think finding that spark to go on was the key.
I've been out, 12 years now, and it's been rough the whole time. I've wanted just, I've kind of chilled out a little bit over the years, but even if they prepare you for civilian life, it's still hard. Well, I joined the Army in November the 8th, 1978. I've been Panama, I've been to Somalia, I've been to Iraq, been with trucks all my life, so I might as well, try truck driving. And Prime put me in a brand new company truck.
We met a lady, and she was a truck driver. And she sold me on things like thousands of dollars a week, and I never have to get out of my pajamas. And so you're like, well, that sounds nice. Lenora was an operator, so she drove big trucks in the Marine Corps, and I was a mechanic on them. So we thought, between the two of us, we've got something going on here. I think we can do it. Her cousin was driving for Prime and spoke highly of it and said that we would make more money, that the equipment was nicer. They said that it just had a really nice facilities.
My name is Steve Wutke. I'm Vice President of Sales for Prime Incorporated here in Springfield, Missouri. We're in all modes and all facets of transportation, and actually we're going to be about a $2.2 billion company this year, privately owned. We have three basic principles here at Prime that we all try to live with. Do your best, do what's right, and treat others the way you want to be treated. From the very beginning, you build your core with high profile, hardworking, intelligent, bright-eyed, goal-achieving people, and that attracts the driver base that we want.
Thanks, Colby. Appreciate it. What you do.
Prime had a huge selling point on that. Be an owner-operator, lease the truck, run your own business, and we were excited about that.
We really value our drivers. We really enjoy bringing veterans in. Our training program here at Prime has allowed us to use our veterans to do that training one-on-one. I think the reason veterans are attracted to Prime is because we already have a very strong group of veterans that are participating in the training program. So consequently, birds of a feather kind of flock together. They're responsible. They appreciate those other veterans that are coming out.
If you're a veteran and you're just recently getting out of the service, you could take this job and set yourself up to do almost anything that you've ever dreamed of.
If a vet asked me about joining our company, the first thing I would do is thank him for his service to our country. And then I would say, we want to help you become a successful businessman. We want to develop you as an entrepreneur, and we'll support you, and we'll respect you.
Trucking gave us a platform to save enough money to get out of debt, start saving money on top of that, paying for our household. Prime's provided us the opportunity to pursue our dreams.
Transitioning from military service is challenging on many levels, but it's good to know that there are a number of companies out there that are actively looking to hire veterans. These companies recognize that veterans are goal-oriented, disciplined, and have a strong desire to get the job done. Hi, I'm Montel Williams, and thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Military Makeover Operation Career. We'll see you next time.